I'm extremely pleased to be here today to be able to rise and speak to my honourable colleague from Bécancour, Nicolette Sorel's private member's bill. I do want to take this opportunity to thank our Dean of the House for his service to our nations. It is a great honour to be able to address the honourable member. I was 6 years old when he was elected to this place, and I will note, as a progressive conservative.
As a conservative, yes, right.
As a progressive conservative. To him, through you, Madam Speaker, I would like to say, your constituents, Quebec, and Canada, thank you for your years of dedicated, effective, and thoughtful service.
Bravo.
That being said, he has 337 members gunning for his job, myself included. Now, if I ever do have the pleasure of serving as long as my honourable colleague, that would put me at a very young 80 years of age in this place. It is perhaps divine providence that I am the official opposition shadow minister for seniors. To get to the point at hand, transfer payments are an essential component of Canadian federalism. As such, I can certainly appreciate any member's efforts to increase payments for their constituency. It is a massive part of what we are all sent here to do. Ayant eu le privilège et l'honneur de siéger dans cette ensemble.
Having had the honor and privilege of sitting here as a member for 37 years, my honorable colleague knows the rules of this place and has surely had the opportunity to table and speak to a number of bills. What concerns me today is not the approach of our Honourable Dean of the House, who has only been concerned for his constituents.
As I am sure you yourself are extremely aware of, Madam Speaker, having ruled on this recently, is that private members' bills cannot propose the expenditure of public funds or tax-raising initiatives unless they have a royal recommendation. Standing Order 79-1 states, "This House shall not adopt or pass any vote, resolution, address, or bill for the appropriation of any part or the public revenue, or of any tax or impost to any purpose that has not been first recommended to the House by a message from the Governor-General in the session in which such vote, resolution, address, or bill is proposed." I may be ignorant to the goings-on behind the scenes, but to my knowledge, this particular piece of legislation has not received the required royal recommendation. Mon bon ami de Winnipeg.
My good friend from Winnipeg North, the parliamentary secretary to the government house leader, invoked the standing orders to express his concern about this bill. He said this bill was a bill that involved spending, and in response, your office said the following.
And I have reached the following conclusions concerning the impact on the royal recommendations. Section 1 of the bill provides that Quebec need not apply the conditions set out in paragraph 24A of the Federal Provincial Fiscal Arrangements Act in order to obtain the amounts referred to in subsection 24(1) of that Act. Section 3 of Bill C-237 provides that Quebec receives the full monetary contribution provided for in the Canada Health Act without being subject to the various grant conditions set out in that Act. In other words, the result of the mechanism proposed by Bill C-237 would be to exempt Quebec from having to fulfill the conditions to which it is currently subject in order to receive the Canada Health Transfer, which originate in the Federal Provincial Fiscal Arrangement Acts and the Canada Health Act. The member from Bécancour, Nicolette Sorel, argued that these changes have no financial effect in terms of either the amounts or their destination. However, these changes would amend the terms and conditions initially attached to the Canada Health Transfer, which were approved by Parliament. On this, page 838 of the House of Commons Procedure and Practice, 3rd edition, states, A royal recommendation not only fixes the allowable charge, but also its objects, purposes, conditions, and qualifications. For this reason, a royal recommendation is required not only in the case where money is being appropriated, but also in the case where the authorization to spend for a specific purpose is significantly altered. Without a royal recommendation, a bill that either increases the amount of an appropriation or extends its objects, purposes, conditions, and qualifications is inadmissible on the grounds that it infringes on the Crown's financial initiative. As member for Bécancour Nicolas Sorel indicated in his intervention, the bill seeks to exempt Quebec from the application of the Canada Health Act. Thus, after analysis and in keeping with the precedents, including the rulings by Speaker Milliken on May 8, 2008, and by my predecessor on December 6, 2016, the Chair is of the opinion that the implementation of Bill C-237 would contravene the conditions initially provided for in the royal recommendation. Accordingly, the Chair is of the view that Bill C-237 must be accompanied by royal recommendation. Madame la Présidente,
Madam Speaker, in the current state of affairs, this bill has not received a royal recommendation, contrary to my honourable colleague from Bécancour, Nicolas Sorel. I'm new in this place, and I may not be the most aware of how things work around here, but I think that even without a royal recommendation, it might be worth the risk, because maybe it'll come along later. We all know how this is going to play out. In the current circumstances, this bill cannot and will not be subject to third reading.
Portion of my speech to reiterate that my objection to this bill is rooted in the manner through which it is brought before the House. I want to reiterate that I know my honourable colleague from the Bloc is a tireless advocate for the people of Quebec, as is evidenced by his electoral record. I will go so far as to say his constituents are lucky to have him. His knowledge, experience, and record of service are quite literally uncomparable by any member of this place. That being said, Madam Speaker, the rules of Parliament are the rules of Parliament. Our standing orders are our standing orders. They explicitly lay out the rules and regulations under which we operate. And based on the Speaker's decision, the future of this bill is crystal clear. It is a spending private member's bill, which does not have a royal recommendation, and as such, I will not be voting for it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.